them to be reached. We'll be speaking to. So we're joined on the telephone line now by Philemon Laar. He's one of the lawyers. Good morning to you, Mr. Laar. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Morning Star.
Hi, good morning, Laar. Hope you're doing well.
I am well. Thank you for asking. So first of all, do you know how many people have been arrested in total? Because as of Monday, or as of Sunday, rather, the police had said that 42 people had been arrested in connection to this protest.
We do not know for sure how many have been arrested, but we have an estimation, and that estimation is basically based on the report the police themselves have given. And we estimate that about 40 to 45, maybe about 50 people have been arrested. But that's a number we do not even want to believe because the arrests were arbitrary. Those arrested have been sent to various police stations across the city of Accra and Tema. So what the police gives out is something we'll take with a pinch of salt because several other people still remain unaccounted for. We have people that have not been found since the protest, and we do not know which particular police stations they've been sent to. So detailing 42 or 45 or whatever the police gives is something we take with a pinch of salt.
And the latest information from the police is that the convener, Oliver Bakavomawo, has been arrested. What was the circumstances surrounding his arrest?
What I know about Oliver's said arrest is that he wasn't arrested. I'm told the police said he was declared wanted, the manhunt and all of that. I think the police have a duty to be very truthful in the way they engage the public. I am aware that Oliver's lawyer, in a letter signed by the very venerable lawyer, Justice Remside, he wrote to the IGP indicating their willingness to cooperate with the police and asking for a designated place where Oliver would present himself to the police. So on that basis, why would the police say there was a manhunt? So really it was a submission. Oliver submitted himself to the police. The police did not conduct any manhunt. He wasn't hiding. He peacefully, legally, responsibly submitted himself to the police.
So he turned himself in?
He turned himself in, yes, he did that.
And the information as well is that the persons that were picked up are going to be arraigned today. Do you have that information as well?
Well, that's all we have. But you see, the problem in all of this is that the police have not been as professional as they should be. The laws are clear. The various case laws and statutes are clear that when you arrest anyone, any accused person, there's a duty on the police to tell the arrested person or the accused person in the language the person understands the reason for the arrest. You must charge the person. You must avail the person to legal representation and counsel. If you've arrested person A and charge the person with B, you must allow the person to talk to his or her lawyer to mount a defense. Otherwise, it amounts to tyranny. But as we speak, all attempts by lawyers for all of these protesters to get the police to even indicate to us where the protesters have been sent to, what charges they have been, what charges have been proffered against them, have all proved futile. If all proved futile, the police is very non-cooperative. They are being tyrannical. They are trampling upon the rights of the protesters, and these protesters are Ghanaians. I think it's important. You see, all across all the police stations we go to, we hear one chorus, and that one chorus is that order from above tells us that we should not allow you to engage the arrested people. Order from above says we should keep them. And I think that's most unfair, most regrettable, most condemnable, especially under the leadership of a man who calls himself a human rights crusader.
Now, so do you know the time these cases will be heard today?
That's still the problem. We do not know. We do not know which court person A or person B will be sent to. Already, we don't know the exact number of people that have been arrested. That's number one. We don't know where exactly the arrested people have been sent. For some of them, we do. A few of them, we know where they are. But for most of them, we do not know which particular police station they have been sent to. And in law, jurisdiction is an important matter. Very, very important matter. So we need to know which particular station you are taking person A or person B to. So if you do not let the lawyer of the person know, or you do not even allow the person the right to legal counsel, how will the person be able to mount a defense in court? How will that person be able to tell the court that, my lord, I will present myself for any prosecution, I have a solid defense, I want to mount, I have legal representation, I am not a flight risk, and all of the various arguments we made before court. How will the person make that? So I think that the Ghana police have been so disingenuous in the way they have handled it. They owe it a duty to the citizens of this country, the good faith of this country, the credibility that this country has backed on over the years, to ensure that the right thing is done and due process is followed.
So as of now, are you saying that as lawyers for the protesters, you have not had the opportunity to have any form of engagement with your clients
For
since
most
since
of
the
the
day
clients,
since the protest, the arrest started on the 22nd?
that is correct. For most of those arrested, we have not had the opportunity to conference with them, to confer with them, to talk to them, to understand their issues, to even profile a solid legal argument. All we know is that they've been arrested. On what charge they have been arrested, we do not know. The police has not made that available. So if all of a sudden you are required to come and represent anyone in court on a charge you do not even know about, how do we mount that defense? But we are ready, whichever way it is, whatever charge it is they are leveling against these patriotic protesters of this country, we will be there to defend them. But the call is to the IGP. Mr. IGP, the people of this country are looking in the face and demanding of you, Mr. IGP, make available to the legal representation of all the accused people which particular police stations they have been sent to. Also, let us know which particular courts you are taking them to. Today expires the 48 hours mandatory requirement for which you can keep them. If you know you cannot send all of them to court, let us know. We already know that we are on legal vacation. Not all courts are working to full functionality. I doubt that they'll be able to efficiently distribute this over 40-something, 50-something people across the ports of Accra and Tema to secure bail or whatever they have to do. So I think that it's in the interest of justice and fairness. They are fellow citizens like you, Mr. IGP. They are your children. They are your sons and daughters. They could be that son you have or that daughter you have. They have parents like you, Mr. IGP. Treat them with dignity, Mr. IGP. Treat the protesters with some respect. They are citizens.
Now, beyond the court case that would be the hearing in court today, days leading to the event or the event itself, many people had, criticized some of the protesters. They said the protesters were being lawless. Why would they be playing football? Why would the lead convener, for example, go turn off the ignition of a vehicle and take out the key and throw it out? As lawyers, you did not rein in your people you were seeking to represent if anything happens.
The position of the law is clear, and that is that everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's basic. Now, that's number one. Number two, there's no nexus. There's no connection between those arrested and those who may have played football on the street or done anything you would term unlawful. Is there any connection? Can you point out to, say, Felicity Nelson and say Felicity Nelson played football on the street? Can you say Ama Governor pulled out a barricade and broke a glass of a car? Can you say that? No. So the persons that have been arrested have so far not been connected with any crime. So just like saying that there's crime in Ghana or there's armed robbery in Ghana, the fact that there's armed robbery in Ghana does not mean that I can say, Nadidi, you are part of the armed robbery. Until I'm able to provide evidence to say, indeed, Nadidi, you are part of them. You understand? So there's a presumption of innocence until there's any compelling evidence that suggests their guilt. And I think that we should proceed on that particular basis.
And the instances where there were protesters who were standing by doing nothing, but then they were picked up by the police. As lawyers, what are your thoughts on that as well? Because
that's another.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's another barbaric act of the Ghana Police Service. I thought that after the report of the Ayawaso West Wogon shooting incident and the recommendation on the Ghana Police to be more professional, I thought they would have learned something about that. Because you look at the particular incidents of the 62-year-old woman and the 10-year-old girl. Look at that one, for example. How was that 62-year-old woman violent? How was that 62-year-old woman involved in any crime? Okay, put that aside. What about the 10-year-old child? How involved was she in the perpetration of any crime that warranted her arrest? It tells you that there have been certain professional lapses in the conduct of the Ghana Police Service. Extreme professional lapses. And we should condemn them. The Ghana Police Service has inflicted on the citizens of this country for one too many several acts of lawlessness and injustice. And as an officer of the court, as a citizen of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, as a citizen of John Mahama's Ghana, I think that it's very important for us to call out the IGP and call out all the political people that are behind pulling strings. That is the only logical.
And finally, in relation to the minor, one of them, at the last time we engaged with some of the protesters, had not been released. Do you know if the minor has now been released or otherwise?
Indication that if it's possible she may have been released, but we don't know anything for fact. As a fact, I have checked the Ghana Police Service Facebook post platform where they have released statements on all the happenings, and I have not seen any statement to the effect that the minor has been released. So to the extent that the Ghana Police Service has not been, let me say, proud enough to come out to tell us that they have. I think they are even shy. They are embarrassed. They have X on their faces. Otherwise, why would you arrest a 10-year-old? 10-year-old. There are people depleting the environment of this country. You've not had a ball. There are MPP appointees who are depleting the environment through Galamsey, Ghana Police Service. You've not had the balls to go and arrest them. But you so cowardly go and arrest a 10-year-old, a weakling, someone who has no voice and no strength is a person you can go and arrest. And if you watch the video, over 6 policemen surrounded this little girl and the 62-year-old woman. Waste of state resources. Use your might to stop Galamsey, Ghana Police Service.
Philemon, thank you very much for speaking to us. We're grateful for your time.
My absolute pleasure.
You had to speak to Philemon Laar. He is one of the lawyers for the protesters that were picked up by the Ghana Police Service during the Democracy Hub demonstration against illegal mining. It started from the 21st of September to the 23rd of September. You're still listening to The Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM.